Would you just walk us through really what painting truly did for you?
I was in a relationship which was coercive control. That the person you're with is stripping all your identity from you. Even if we were just sat together and I was sipping my tea, I would be sipping it wrong.
And in those early stages, was there anything in you that was like, I'm not sure about this, or I'm not happy?
100%. There was that gut feeling from the off, which I wish I listened to.
Why do you think you didn't? What's the worst it got?
I've not actually admitted this.
You don't have to, Jen. You can pause there.
The worst it got is that he did physically.
How did you get out of that?
A lot of courage. I wasn't allowed to speak on the phone to my family, and there was one instance where he was in the shower, so I took my phone and I rang my mum. And my mum said to me, "Come home."
Where does the painting come into your life at that point?
I was a broken shell. I didn't know who I was anymore. I took the paints and I just started doodling. I can still feel the same feeling now. Everything in my head just quietened down.
You now have recurring revenue every single month. You have a course that you recently did a launch. Was it just short of £11,000 you did in a week?
Yeah, that's right.
Facebook group with over 70,000 members. People dream of that. How did you do that in less than 2 years? Jen, welcome to the Success School podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here. I know, obviously, from working with you as a client, as somebody who's part of our Success School community, that you've been through quite a lot, and I know there's a lot that we can share. Let's start with business.
Yes.
When you first joined Success School, am I right in saying you had no desire to be a business person?
Absolutely no desire. In fact, I didn't even think I would ever be able to run a business, ever. Just wasn't ever in my mind.
So we corrupted you.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you love it.
I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed with it now.
Tell us about that journey then. When you joined Success School, and obviously we work together in a one-to-one capacity as well as part of the community. Why did you join initially?
I joined initially for my mindset. I was very unconfident, I was very quiet, and I just felt like I wasn't aligned with who I wanted to be.
People find that crazy though, because you are an actress and you've been a performer for years. And I think a lot of people that are not performers would say, like somebody that's on camera, does acting, how can you not be confident? But tell us about the truth about that.
Yeah, so the truth about that is acting, you're being someone else, as you'll know yourself.
Yeah.
And I was always so comfortable with being other people because I wasn't looked at as, oh, that's Jen and that's what she's like. And I kind of hid myself away a little bit because, I don't know, I don't think I sat comfortably with who I was. And I think I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. So being in someone else's made it feel more relaxed and I just enjoyed it more.
Do you think that's common in the acting industry, in that people get confidence from basically being somebody else?
Yeah, 100%. When I started acting, I was only a child and I was so nervous.
How old were you?
I started when I was 10, but I really got into it when I was like 16, 17. And I was such an anxious person back then. And I think when you put on a character, you're somebody else and you can push your boundaries and you can see what your vocal, your body language and everything can do. And then you can transfer that to your life as you grow and move on and get older.
And I have to say, you are great at acting. Like, I've seen some of your content and, you know, like your show reel and stuff like that. And you've got a talent for it. And not everybody has. You know, a lot of people go to acting classes and they go there to build confidence and friendships and so on. But they don't all actually have that raw, natural ability that you have. And I know you, like, just from the stuff I've seen, you play such a range of characters and really fun characters to really serious and hard-hitting and dramatic. Where does that come from? Did you always have a knack with acting?
Yeah, always. When I was younger, I used to pretend I was all sorts of things.
Oh my God, I
up.
was the same.
Was you?
Well, tell us your worst.
Oh God, you don't want to hear it.
I had an imaginary friend. I don't remember it.
ya?
Up until being about 2 or 3, I've never shared this with anyone.
Yeah.
I had an imaginary... I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm so embarrassed. I had an imaginary friend called Beena. I've never told anyone this. And it was because I couldn't say Ribena. And I had this, and I used to talk to Beena, and I used to go, Mum, open the door, let Beena in. So I'm so embarrassed. But that was me at like 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume you, tell me yours.
Yeah,
I've told you mine.
I would talk to myself all the time, and I would pretend like I was animals and things.
Oh God, we're both absolutely.
It gets worse.
Does it?
We are. Yeah, like I would literally get a bowl of water, put it on the floor, run and on my fours, pretending I was like different animals, as well as people. But that's the most bonkers I was, I guess. But yeah, I always loved doing like different voices. Not very well.
Yeah, me too. Always doing impressions. Do you know, I don't know if you're the same, but I can't tell a story about someone without then impersonating them.
Oh yeah. Are
you the same?
Yeah, and I do it badly as well.
Same. All of them are bad. So we've obviously got that in common. There's something about us, the creative side, that I guess it's a fascination for humans and, I don't know, different personality types, different characters, I guess. So, okay, so that's really interesting. There's definitely, and I think we should stop that bit there because it's going to get more embarrassing and we're going to overshare because we are both oversharers. Yeah. But then fast forward. So you then were sort of in the acting industry. How was that when you're then trying to get work and things like that?
Oh, really tough, really tough. You just never feel like you're good enough. You never feel, it's rejection. It's a lot of rejection. You go to an audition, you get to the final stages. You got all your hopes up and then you don't hear anything. And it's a silence. It's the silence when you don't hear anything and you want to know what you've done wrong and what you could have done better. And I'm someone who loves to learn and grow through learning. And
you don't always get told, right?
You don't. A lot of the time you don't get told unless you get to very final like screen test stages. And it's so hard because you just want to know what you've done wrong. And especially as a child, as a teenager, that hit harder, I'd say, than as I got older.
And I feel like there's so much, it can feel like an industry that is out of your control. And that's the reason that I left the acting industry, because I was like, I'm putting in the effort, the energy, I'm learning the skill set. And if you applied this somewhere else, there's almost like a almost set trajectory of like, if you do X, you'll eventually achieve Y. And I kind of felt like with that industry, you can do it for 90 years and still not get the big break. And most actors, they're really happy if they make a living out of being an acting teacher and getting a couple of acting jobs a year. And I was like, and that's most actors that would consider themselves successful. It's like 0.00001% that actually are making great money just from acting. And so I just looked at that and I was like, I think these skill sets and energy and attention applied somewhere else can get me a better return, hence starting a business. And here we are today. So joining Success School, it was more for confidence. It was more for mindset. Why on earth are you now a successful business person?
Because I used to paint and I was in a job and it was taking absolutely everything from me. I was working crazy hours and it was always a rat race of, let's get promoted and then I'll earn more money. Let's get promoted and then I'll earn more money. And I wasn't seeing anyone but my work family all the time. I'd lived at work. I slept in hotel rooms left, right and centre.
What was it you were doing?
I was working in the film industry at the time and I was working in the cast department. So the hours would be when the first cast member arrived at like 4 a.m. to when the last one left. And sometimes that would be like midnight. The days were just crazy long.
Is that legal?
I don't know. I
don't know. Anyway.
I did it because I wanted the money. I wanted to do well. I always wanted to do well.
Mind you, I say that. She definitely works more hours now. She's got a business.
Yeah.
We just don't go to bed anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was working these crazy hours. And it just felt like I was losing myself a little bit. And I knew that painting brought me joy and painting was something I used to do when I could. And at the time, I was in the WhatsApp group for Success School and there were people booking you for one-to-one sessions because they wanted business advice. And I thought, what if I could work for myself? What if I could do something with painting? I love painting. And then I wouldn't have to rely on anybody. I wouldn't have to give up all my time for somebody else. I wouldn't have to be away from home. What if it was just the question, what if? What if I could do something with this? So that's when I messaged her, booked in a call.
And then, do you want to just tell the listeners how we arrived at your business idea and where that came from?
Yeah, so my business idea is painting to help people relax and find calm through creativity. For me, that was very important because painting, I was so passionate about it because of what it did for me mentally. I was in a very bad relationship, and when I left that relationship, I found painting through that to really help me rebuild my life, and it just quietened all that sound down in my head. And I just wanted that for other people so much. And when I came to you, you said, what are you passionate about? And it was painting.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying to me, like, if you're not passionate about it, it won't stick. It has to be something you really want to do. And that was the effects I knew it gave me. I wanted to give that to other people. So that's how we came to this idea of this business.
And if you're happy to talk about it, because I think it's really relevant, would you just walk us through, as much as you're happy to, that relationship and really what painting, truly did for you?
Yeah, of course. So I was in a relationship which was coercive control, which basically means that the person you're with is stripping all your identity from you. I didn't own anything anymore. My phone was changed to a phone he wanted me to have. I even got me a car. I didn't want a car at the time. Like, everything was owned by him, and my behavior was monitored by him. And there was
When you say monitored, what's like the depth of that? How did that look?
So, like, even if we were just sat together and I was sipping my tea, I would be sipping it wrong. So I'd have to sip it in a certain way. So it got to the fine detail. When we was in bed together, I had to be in a certain position on the bed. I wasn't allowed to go past this imaginary line. So it was very intense.
And I think for people that have not been in that situation, it's kind of, I assume, quite hard to understand, like, why don't you just leave then? So I imagine it doesn't start off that way.
No, at first it was all, he treated me really well. He lived in Manchester, and he would drive where I lived, and he would come with gifts, and he would come and whisk me away and take me out for fancy dinners. And I was never a materialistic person, and I still am not today. And I guess I was just flattered at first, and I just felt like, oh, this guy really likes me. Like, he's pulling out all the stops, literally. And it just got very intense very quick. And before I knew it, we was living together. He'd started bringing things around to my house and decorating it as if it was his house. And before I knew it, we was just in that intense relationship together.
And in those early stages, was there anything in you that was like, I'm not sure about this, or I'm not happy?
100%. There was that gut feeling from the off, which I wish I listened to.
Why do you think you didn't?
I think because of the way he was treating me with the gifts and the going out. I'd never had that before. Before him, I was in a relationship for nearly 8 years, and this person never took me out, never wanted to treat me, nothing like that. So for me, it was very, oh my gosh, like, this must be like what it's like to be really seen and cared for. And maybe it's my gut instinct because I've gone from a long-term relationship, and now it's scary because it's new.
This is something I relate to with an old business mentor that I had, which obviously was not like an intimate sexual relationship, anything like that. But it's that really similar trend of, they really big you up, they make you feel special, and they tell you you're doing amazing. And what happens is it's a slow progression. So initially it's all like basically too good to be true, right? And then over time, it's kind of like there's these massive highs and massive lows. So in my example, it's like he would really big me up and go, oh my God, you're doing amazing. And then the next minute he would scold me like I'm a school child.
Yeah.
And like put me down and make me feel like shit and stuff like that. And I think, again, if you've not been in those kind of relationships that's quite, you know, where there's gaslighting, narcissistic behavior, I think it's easy to just think, well, why didn't you just leave? Or, you know, and I think it's because it's a progression where, you know, on one hand, they say really lovely things and they do lovely things. In my experience, I don't know about you, but it's like you actually question yourself.
Yes.
You think maybe I'm just wrong and they're right. And so it's literally not black and white. And it can be quite a confusing time. And I think it's really important to note, in my opinion, I don't think it matters how intelligent you are or, you know, how much life experience you have or so on. These people are great at making you think you're the problem or you're in the wrong.
100%.
And from what I hear, I feel like that's kind of what you experience, right?
Yeah, 100%. On the outside, these people are the best people. Everyone looks up to them in society, and out behind closed doors, they're completely different. And they do turn it so it is you question yourself. It's your behaviour that's a problem. It's your actions. It's your values. It's not them. So like you say, it does flip the switch and it gets you doubting yourself constantly. And as good people, you always want to do better. You always want to, oh, that's not me. I want to prove myself. So it's that constant vicious cycle.
What's the worst it got?
The worst it got was, it got really bad. The worst it got, I've not actually admitted this only to one person, but hey, we're on a podcast.
You don't have to, Jen. You can pause there.
No, the worst it got is that he did physically hurt me. And that, the mental stuff was awful, but it just topped it off. There was some bad days, really bad days.
Talk to us about getting out of that position, because as we've spoken about, like, you question yourself, you doubt yourself, and even when things get physical, and again, you know, I don't mind sharing, even though it wasn't an intimate relationship, I got hit round the face, things like that happened with me and that mentor. And even though part of you knows it's wrong, there's still, I think at that point, you're so in deep, you still question, can I leave that? And I was actually scared.
Yeah.
So even though I was paying this person, I was scared to stop paying and walk away.
Yeah.
And obviously for you, it's, I imagine, 20 times worse when it's an intimate relationship, when it's living together, and then obviously physical. How did you get out of that?
It took a lot of courage. A lot of courage. I wasn't allowed to speak on the phone to my family, and there was one instance where he was in the shower, so I took my phone and I rang my mum. And my mum said to me, "Come home." And when she said that, I just knew I had to go. I just knew. My mum's saying that. And my mum, she's such a positive person. She supports me no matter what. And if she's saying that I've got to go home, it's because she can see something's not right.
Wow. And that was it, that day? You just went?
No, it wasn't that day, but it was a few days later. He'd said some things to me. He'd called me useless, which he called me useless all the time, but that time, my mum's voice in my head, "Come home," was there, and my stomach, my gut was just saying, "Go, just go." And it wasn't easy going, but my godsend was that because it was COVID, his mum had moved in with us. So it made it easier in the sense that I knew that there was someone there as well as him to make it more easier for me to leave. So I did. I got in the car and I just went. just drove. And when I was driving, in my head, I was saying, you're never going to get better. Go back. And I'm so glad I kept driving. I'm so glad I kept driving.
And when you arrived at home, how did your mum find you?
My mum gave me a big hug. But the thing is, when you've been in a relationship like that, it takes your spirit and you're just a broken shell. I was quite numb, I'd say. I couldn't quite believe what I'd done. And the voice in my head was saying it was a mistake. And she was just the best. She just looked after me as a mum would with their daughter. She made sure I ate. She made sure we did face masks together and things. And step by step, we got there. We got better. And I remember the first time I sang again, because that's something I wasn't allowed to do. And I love singing. Terrible at it, but I love singing. And I started singing one day, and it's like an alien coming out my body. But it was such big progress, and it was just them little steps at a time, and we got there. We got there, and I got my life back on track.
So then you're now living with mum.
Yeah.
Where does the painting come into your life at that point?
Like I say, I was a broken shell. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't even know what my favourite colour was because I was dressed in black all the time. Everything was bought for me. I didn't know who Jen was anymore. So my mum, we have the grandkids around all the time. She used to, and she had some paints in the spare room. And I remember sitting on the bed and I was just feeling so overwhelmed. I just felt like, where do I go from here? And I saw these paints at the side of the room and I just wanted the noise in my head to stop. And I remember when I was younger, I used to paint. I come from quite a creative family. There's a lot of drawing growing up, painting, everything. So I took the paints and I just started doodling. And I can still feel the same feeling now. As soon as I picked up that brush and I started painting, I felt a warm rush from the top of my head right down to the tips of my toes. Everything in my head just quietened down. Like, how am I going to do this? There was nothing. It was gone. It was quiet.
Like that, being completely present in that moment.
Yeah. I just started to feel okay again. Started to feel good. Some nice feelings. That's the first time I started painting as an adult, I guess, that benefited me from a mental health standpoint. It was brilliant.
So had you always painted as a kid and you'd stopped and just lost touch with that?
Yeah, I lost touch with it. Like I say, we grew up in a creative family, so my dad was always doing silly things and was just messing around with clay or with paint or with crayons, and we just used to do it all the time as kids growing up, even like teenagers, just messing around, having crafty days and stuff.
This episode is sponsored by Laura Robson and Back Pocket Office. Now let me tell you about this one. Laura is somebody you need in your life. I have got her in my life, and all I can say about her is I don't know how I'd live without her. And it's true. If you're anything like me, you will hate tech. You'll be great at launching and creating the marketing material and delivering on the actual product that you're selling. But when it comes to the back end, making sure it's all automated and it all works, I just can't be bothered. And if you're the same, Laura is the solution. Laura is a systems strategist and she's also a certified launch and funnel specialist. And if you are a service provider, if you're a coach, consultant, any kind of online business that provides some kind of online service, then Laura is there to help sort out all your funnels and systems for you. With over 14 years experience, she's somebody who's going to get you solutions quick. She's easy to speak to, very approachable, and just really friendly and nice, basically. So if you are ready to get your systems and your funnels all sorted for you and work with one of the best in the business, go check out backpocketoffice.co.uk and connect with Laura on socials. The links are literally right below this episode in the show notes. Go click it, and I mean this. Go and do it now. You will not regret it. It's so interesting because from what I know of you, I see you as such a high energy, playful person that is fun, that can be silly, that, as we found out today, pretends to be animals and stuff. And quite a self-aware person as well, like very in touch with like your feelings, and I would say in terms of being present, you are really present. And it's almost unbelievable to think that what you've just shared there was literally just a few years ago. And I think that's a real credit to you to show not just the courage to leave something that was quite controlling and obviously quite frightening and violent, but to decide to focus on you again and come through that and build that confidence. And I believe now you're in a happy relationship and basically completely turn your life around in a matter of years, right?
Oh yeah. Everything's if I look back to the person I was then to now, it's just two complete different people. Well, it's not, because it was always me. I just was buried deep down and crushed down, I guess. And it has been a journey, but it's been epic.
What's your advice if someone's listening to this that's maybe in that position where they feel they've lost themselves, they don't feel they know who they are, or they're dulling down their sparkle? How did you manage to find that again and bring that back? What if there's any kind of like practical advice or whatever in terms of what worked for you, what would you say?
I'd say choose a creative activity when your mind is going like crazy. For me, when I'm doing something and I'm, rather than sitting and meditating or watching TV, my mind's still going. So if you find you're someone that does that, and
That's definitely me. Yeah.
I thought so. When your head's still spinning, make sure you find something that you can do and pull you're pulling your physical attention to it and your mind to it. So you can't focus on anything else. Things can be quite overwhelming sometimes, and what we do in our mind, we think a lot about the future, a lot about the past, and it's so hard to be present. So if you can find just one thing to do, even if it's just half an hour, where you just tune into the present moment, your brain sort of figures out some of that stuff whilst you're doing it anyway. You can give yourself that time, and one step at a time, you'll just find yourself progressing and progressing.
I like what you said there about it doesn't need to be anything huge, and like you say, one step at a time. You know, I think things like journaling works really well for some people, or taking a moment to focus on things like gratitude, like you said, meditation, all these things. And obviously for you, you find, I guess, all of that through art, right?
Yeah.
That's what just talk us through that. Like when you are painting now, what is that process like from a mental and emotional standpoint?
It's just the best feeling ever, because no matter what you're going through in your day, whether it's something minor, like, I don't know, there's a lot of work in the business going on or whatever, you're really busy, it just pulls my attention just solely to that. And I feel so much joy when I'm painting. I feel empowered because I'm mixing my own colours. I feel in control because I'm painting what I want to paint, and there's no right or wrong in art, so I can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
I just feel free. It allows me to feel free. I just love that about it.
And then how do you feel after you've completed the art that day? Like, does it have an ongoing impact?
Yeah, so I guess if I've created something I'm really proud of, like I have recently, I painted a car, I love it. I put it up on my wall, I can see it, I walk in, I'm like, oh, like it. I attach feelings to my painting, so I know how I felt when I did that. It makes me smile when I see it. So if you paint something you're proud of, you pop it somewhere, you can just look at that and refer back to, oh, that made me feel great when I did that. And again, have that gratitude for that moment.
What would you say to somebody that's listening that's like, they know they need something to maybe re-engage with creativity, maybe an exercise that helps them be more present and the kind of things you're describing, but they're like, oh, I'm not sure if art, how would art do that? I'm not sure if art's the right thing. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, if you don't think you're an artist or anything like that, you could even get an adult colouring book. Get some gel pens or felt tips. Just start
Oh, yeah, I used to love that as a
them
kid.
in. So therapeutic. Because you don't have to think about the process of making anything. It's already made. You're just colouring in the squares, and it'll still have the same effect. You're focusing on your colours. You're focusing on staining the lines. You're just enjoying that texture, feeling the pen on the paper. It's all the same feelings, but it's less pressure because you've not got the blank canvas.
I guess that's what creativity gives us, doesn't it? What you're describing there is an ability to block out the noise of life and all the worries and fears and concerns and things that go on in our mind, and actually just put your focus on that one thing. And I think quite often, for me, I guess it's kind of the gym does this a little bit for me. It changes your state, it changes your energy. And then once you've done that, you think about things differently. And usually you can be a little bit more logical about stuff, less emotional, because you've literally cleared your mind. And I think we all have to have those activities in our life, right, as part of our habits. Talk to us about making art a business, because obviously everything you've just shared there, that's part of your journey, sort of, I guess, predominantly before we worked together. When you joined, I guess you were still on that journey of self-development and mindset and finding who Jen is again and reconnecting with that, right? But then to make a business out of that, how did that feel as a concept initially? Was there doubt in your mind? Were you confident about that idea?
Oh my gosh, I didn't think I kept saying in my head, I'm not a business person. What do you think you're doing? You're mad. You're crazy. How am I going to do this? I had all the doubts, all the doubts, everything. I just didn't think that I could do it at all.
So why did you? Because loads of people have those doubts and then stop.
Yeah, because I wanted freedom again. I wanted freedom, and I wanted to be in control of my life more. And also, I love painting. So I wanted to do something that made me happy constantly. So that's why I did it.
I think that's the thing I really, in the stuff I teach, when people join me that are literally just saying, Matt, I want to start an online business. I have no idea what that is or where to start. I think that's a really important thing, is to try and find something that someone already has a passion for, irrespective of the business side. And I think you're a great example of, it was just the natural thing because it's something that already gave you so much. And I know for you, it now gives you so much more, the joy of it, of giving to others through art, right? So fast forward now, it's only been less than 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Less than 2 years since you started your art online business. You now have recurring revenue every single month. You have an online membership. You have a course that you recently did a launch. Was it just short of £11,000 you did in a week?
Yeah, that's right.
And you have a Facebook group with over 70,000 members.
Yeah, 70,000. It's
like, how? For anyone listening, I mean, I know how because I've been coaching you behind the scenes, but people dream of that. You know, that we're in that position you were in, where they're doing a job all the hours, they feel unfulfilled, but to take something that you love and they're passionate about and have money every single month and doing it on their terms and online and having a community. People are like, how did you do that in less than 2 years?
1, have the right business coach.
Boom, I'll pay you later. Smashed it.
Make sure you've got the support there. Like I say, I wasn't a business person. I had no idea where to start. I just knew I wanted to. So get the right support and then take the action. Take the action regardless of the thoughts in your head, regardless of how it feels in your body, because it is scary doing new things. Just do it and make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you can learn and come back better and stronger. And be consistent.
I think out of all the clients I have the pleasure of working with, you are like in that top % when it comes to work ethic. Because I think everybody sees the gloss and the 70,000 followers and the launch doing £11,000 and all that kind of stuff. And almost it can look simple. And I always say business is simple. It's people that make it complex. It's fear of failure. It's, you know, fear of judgment. It's all these things, overwhelm, procrastination. So I think business is simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy. There is real work that goes into it. And I'd love you just to be like, if you're happy, to just as honest about that as possible, because I'm really conscious with this show and like with my teaching that we don't glamorize it I don't want to. I think there's a lot of people in the online space now, and they're there sipping the champagne, and they're there on a yacht. Everyone's got a yacht and a Rolex and a Lamborghini and all that bollocks. And it's like, you could live like me too if just 6 months of a bit of hard work. And I just think that's the wrong message. Usually, even though business is simpler than ever, you can usually expect at least 3 years, at least, of working probably harder than you'd ever work in a job, 7 days a week, saying no to lots of other things to start to see some results, in my experience.
100%.
That's the truth. And throughout that journey, there'll be loads of times you doubt everything. You doubt the coach, you doubt yourself, you doubt the business. And you've still got to find the resilience to pick yourself up and go again. So tell us about the worst of it. Like, what has it really been like? How hard has it been?
Yeah, really hard, especially at the start. Investing money and having not much return or any return, and working very long hours, like still do now. But of course, you enjoy it some of the time. But there are times when you're like, oh God, I just want to relax.
Yeah.
But for me, the worst times have probably been about in the middle somewhere and at the start, when I've got nothing in my bank and I'm still wanting to invest in things to get me further. So I'm having to borrow money. And then also, because I'm not seeing any return, having to still work and push myself and convince myself that this is going to work, knowing that there's no results, there's nothing showing.
How do you do that? How do you convince yourself in those moments?
In those moments, sometimes I like to think about, this is really cheesy, sometimes I like to think about, well, what if someone needs this? What if someone needs this? What if someone needs to hear this? What if someone was in the same situation that I was in them years ago and needs this? So that always helps.
So focus on service rather than yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It is about the people you're serving. So I want to make sure that they're feeling seen and heard, and they're not going to be seen and heard if I'm not pushing myself forward. And also, do I want to go back there to that job, working all them hours? I could do that, but I wouldn't be happy. Whereas I see that if I keep going, I might just get there. And it's worth the risk.
Do you think, I don't know if this is the right word, but it's the word that comes to mind. Do you think you have to have a level of being delusional?
Yeah, definitely.
You say that with such joy.
I do.
Yes, we're bonkers. We have imaginary friends and we're delusional. I agree, because people ask me about this, and I think about 8 years of running my first business, which I started at 19, I barely broke even for 8 years. And also my friend Ross, who you know, Ross Grant, I think he had 4 years with his membership, and on year 4, his accountant literally told him, close this down. This business is not making you money. It makes no logical sense. And here he is now. He has over 1,000 members paying him £29 a month. He's doing good, right? And it's like there's a common theme here when everybody else is telling you this makes no financial sense or logical sense. There's a belief that keeps you going. And when people ask me about that, it's similar to what you've just said, which is there was no alternative. I'm not going to do a job. That's not me. And there's no shame in getting a job. Like, lots of people are very happy, fulfilled, lived great lives with great jobs. But it's not me. That's not my life. I can't be told what to do. Like you've seen, I'm half an hour late to my own podcast today, right? I can't even follow my own bloody rules. Like, it's not me. And that, no plan B, not allowing it, combined with delusion, quote unquote, of, I mean, is it delusion or is it just, I believe I'll find a way? I just, there's an answer. Somebody's done this. Another human, it's like the 4-minute mile with Roger Bannister, isn't it? It's like nobody could do, what is it, the 4 miles in under a minute or whatever it is, I can't remember. And then one person does it and then everyone else starts breaking the record. it's that thing of knowing other humans have been able to make a success of a business. Well, if someone else can, why not me, right?
You've got to believe that you can do it and see yourself doing it. Really believe that you can do it to live through them times. Because like you say, if you have a plan B and if you go back to doing that job,
Yeah.
you have to have that solid belief.
It's almost like that certainty of a plan B and that comfort and that reassurance of a plan B, I think often stops people from actually going for it and doing what it takes. As we've just discussed there, you know, there is no, like, business requires everything. And unless you're willing to give it everything, you probably won't make a success of it. I'm not, you know, people talk about side hustles. I agree with there's a transitional period where you might have to be working on multiple things initially to pay the bills and, you know, but that sort of dipping your toe and seeing it as a side hustle, I'm not a big believer in that attitude. I think it's got to be, that is my thing.
All in.
And I'll make it work.
Puts good pressure.
Positive pressure, right?
Very positive pressure. There's no way. You have to figure a way. I love the pressure.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I work really well under pressure. I always have.
Yeah.
Me
too.
It's just a good challenge. You have to find a way. There's no way out. So you see what you're capable of.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when you're backed into a corner, you have to figure it out. You have to fight.
100%.
What would you say to somebody that struggles with pressure and that doesn't like buzz off it like you? How can they learn and develop the skill set to be able to, when the going gets tough and they're feeling demotivated or tired or the pressure's too much, they're overwhelmed, but they still want to succeed like you have? What advice would you give to help them overcome that?
I think having a supportive community, that's massive. When there's people going through or in the same situation as you, having an ear that's there to lend, that's a positive ear, not like that friend that's like, oh, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
like
we all have them.
Having them solid relationships, I think that helps. Because having people that encourage you and uplift you, when you feel like you want to pack it all in, they'll tell you, no, come on, you can do this. I think that's massive.
I agree. It's those people that are either doing what you're doing or have done what you're wanting to do. They're the people you need so badly. And I know that that's what we have at Success School, right? It's, you know, we've got over 200 members now, which is incredible, of other entrepreneurs and all different people in different industries, different experiences, at different levels. Seeing is believing. And if everyone around you isn't an entrepreneur, you feel like there's something wrong with you or, you know, it's not the norm, so you should change. But when you're around 200 plus other people, and then you're going through those moments of doubting yourself, you see them and go, oh, but they're doing that, or someone will encourage you, right? And it's that. It's
amazing when you're around that group of people and they're in the same situation as you. You can help each other out. It's just massive. It is massive. That is, I would say, number one.
So at the time of recording, less than 2 years since you started your business or even saw yourself as a business person.
Yes.
You've just done your first retreat.
Yeah.
Your wellness and creativity art retreat.
Did.
In a couple of weeks' time, you're one of the speakers at my event.
Yes.
Speaking alongside Levi Roots, Reggae Sauce. Speaking alongside Grace Andrews, who's been working with Stephen Bartlett from day one on the Diary of a CEO. Like, how is this feeling now?
Bloody hell. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I just feel so grateful for the opportunity to be, one, like, trusted to go on that stage and to do that, but also like, oh my God, I'm going to own it. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I just feel like I just feel so grateful and thankful for the opportunity. And yeah, I can't wait.
I can't wait. And I know you're going to be amazing. And I want to say a massive well done, because obviously I've been there through those last few years, you know, quite a lot. Yeah. And I've seen you when you've had those doubts. But I honestly know very few people with the courage, the tenacity, the determination, the work ethic that you have displayed week after week after week, month after month, it's very rare, and there's no coincidence as to why you've built the community you have and the results you're getting for people. And I want to say as well, thank you for sharing some really quite horrible and vulnerable stuff today, because I know that's not easy and I know it's very personal. But I also know in doing that, you give other people that inspiration. And that's what this show's all about. So just congratulations, because it really is. And you inspire me. And I honestly mean that. You really do. And you're a joy to be around. And you are, we talk about in business, ideal client avatars. That's it right there. This episode is sponsored by Dr. Tania King-Mohammad. She is the high ticket woman, the #1 best-selling author of the high ticket method, and one of the most sought after high ticket experts in the game. Basically, if you are an entrepreneur who is serious about scaling their business, you need to grab a copy of her book right now. Literally, I have read it and it is a game changer. It will blow your flipping mind. Tania is the mentor that the entrepreneurs call once they are finished playing small and are ready to start charging their worth. Working with Tania is all about creating consistent high ticket sales and doing it in a way where you can create a freedom level income without the constant hustle and grind like a lot of the other mentors bang on about. If you're listening to this show, you already know you're somebody that's meant for more and is willing to go and work for it. So basically, you need to get into Tania's world. Go and grab a copy of her book right now on Amazon and make sure you give her a cheeky little follow on Instagram. She is at Freedom with Tania, and she's consistently giving strategies, tips and advice over there for free so you can start charging your worth and actually starting to believe in it. So just before we finish, I want to go into some of the general life questions that I ask all guests. So first question, what is some of the worst advice you've been given in your life and why?
Oh, #1, my dad. Sorry, Dad.
Going in.
It's fine. He knows.
Don't listen to Matt. Stop paying Matt. Is that what he said?
He has said that, actually, yeah. That is one of them.
Sorry, Den's dad.
No, the worst piece of advice that I've had is stay in your job for 10 more years, save up, and then think about doing your business. 10
And
years.
I get it, though. You know, that advice always comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
And usually that combined with fear, and we only know what we know, right? And it's the same with my parents. There's nobody in my family that was entrepreneurial. And it's a scary thing, I imagine, when your child is going, I've got this guaranteed income that if I save up, I can get a house and blah, blah, blah. And actually, I'm going to just invest loads of money into starting something that guarantees nothing.
Yeah, it definitely comes from a place of love and wanting me to be safe and secure, which is lovely. But I didn't do it.
Yeah. And here she is, wishing she had have done it. It would have been much easier. You could have had weekends off and everything if you just had a job. All right, flip side, what's some of the best advice and why?
Best advice is from my mum. She's always said to me, just go for it. Anything I've ever wanted to do, she's just like, just go for it. Just go for it. There is no better advice than just go for it. Because if you don't go for it, you will never know. Even if it's a bad thing, just go for it. See what happens.
Try it, right?
Yeah.
If you feel compelled to try something, I always just think we've got one life. And I know it's a cliche thing and it's said a lot, but I would much rather regret something going wrong or not being what I thought than never knowing.
100%.
Okay, so this show, we try and give positive message to help people live happier, healthier, more fulfilled lives. So if you were to leave the listeners today with 3 pieces of advice, that if they follow these 3 pieces of advice, they're going to be on the right path to live a happier, healthier, more fulfilled life, what would you say?
#1, look after your body. Look after your health. Make sure you're doing some sort of activity. Nowadays, we don't move enough, and I think it's so easy not to.
God, I feel seen. I do need to move more. You're right. Oh, God, I feel under attack. Great point, though.
It's something that I've fallen into the trap with, and getting back into my fitness now, and just like, it's so important. You know, we don't have health forever. Make sure you keep yourself strong. So that would be number 1. Keep moving. Number 2 would be find the joy or happiness in any situation or anything during the day. Just one little bit of happiness or one little bit of joy that you can find. And just really take that in, because life's short and we should enjoy it where we can. So try to really just find that happiness or joy anywhere you can. And number 3. Number 3 would be, I guess, just go for it. Just take action on what you want to do and see what happens. You know, it might go wrong, might not. Just give it a go. Just go for it.
Jen, this has been brilliant. And again, thank you for sharing so much. If people are hearing about you for the first time and they're like, I want to get into your world, know more about what you do, maybe start for the first time, because you do teach art to beginners, right? And it's with an emphasis on, yes, learning art, and it's acrylic art, right?
Yeah, that's
But it's also with an emphasis on doing something for self-care, for mindset, for well-being. It's not just be the most successful artist kind of thing, right? So if people are hearing that and like, all right, I hear you, I see the value, where can they follow you? How can they get into your world?
Yeah, so on Facebook, I'm Jenny Hardacre Art. So you can come and find me over there. And on Instagram, I'm jmhardacre_art.
Great. And the final question that I ask all guests on this show, Jen, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success is inner happiness. If I can wake up and feel happy, go to bed and feel happy, then I've had a really successful day. So definitely inner happiness.
Love it. Well done.
Thank you.